Hello and welcome to this episode of Shatterdice Plays, and today we will be playing Final Girl, a knock at the door featuring the intruders at Wingard Cottage. And we will also be playing this using the Final Girl Series 2 lore and scenario book, which this is a pretty cool little book that will give you from the Season 2 all the features that they released. So you've got the Evomorph, the Organism, the Intruders, the Big Bad Wolf, the Ratchet Lady, and Terror from the Grave. Basically, this gives you a backstory on each of the killers from the series. So there's the Intruders. I'm not going to read all that; it's like 2 pages. But it also gives you various preset games to play using a specific killer in all of the different locations, so it helps with that mix and match feeling that the game has. And it tells you a little story as it goes along. So this is going to tell the story of the Intruders and their journey through all these different environments of Series 2. So the first one is Unwelcome Dinner Guests, and that tells it's the Intruders in Wingard Cottage. So Ginny wasn't the type of girl to fall head over heels for a guy, but Sam was someone she was definitely enamored with. He shared her love for the outdoors, was smart and funny, all qualities she loves in a guy. Despite all this, she was very uncomfortable with meeting Sam's family at his parents' upcoming wedding anniversary party. The whole family will be there, and she wasn't fond of large group gatherings, especially when she didn't know the people. To make matters worse, the party was being held at the family cottage in the middle of nowhere, so she would be stuck with these people for a couple of nights. At least the cottage was in the middle of the woods. That's where she's expecting to spend most of her weekend, going on long hikes to help clear her mind. Who knows, she thought, it could actually turn out to be a really fun weekend. Okay, so we begin with the starting event, getting resourceful, which means crafting items requires 1 less time. So in this Final Girl game, one of the little quirks of the game is that you can find various bits of resources around the map, such as discarded tools, nails, wood, rope, and you can use those to craft what is ordinarily a random selection of weapons. However, in this kind of campaign-based game, it gives you these 4 that you have the potential to create. So if we take a look at the spear here, you can see if we have a knife, some wood, and we spend 2 time, we can turn those items into this spear. So we will begin with our standard hand of 6 cards. And Ginny begins up here. We have a horror value of 3, and we have our 3 killers here who are all stood at the front door. Let's take a look at the map as we play our cards. So the first thing I want to do is I want to try and reduce the horror track. So I'm going to play Focus. So we roll our 2 dice, and we get 1 success and 1 partial success. So with Focus, we really want to get 2 successes. So I am going to discard a weak attack and a short rest, and that means the Focus gives us 2 extra time, and it reduces the horror by 1. So now we have 8 time and the horror is at 2. And then we are simply going to use the walk action. Okay, so that's not a very good roll. So what we'll do is we will discard our other walk and focus to allow us to move 1 space at the cost of 1 time, and that's all of our cards used up. So Ginny is going to go into here. So this leaves us 7 time to purchase action cards. So we're going to buy a sprint for 2. Another sprint, I think, for 2 more. Leaving us with 3 time. Then we will buy a search for 2. Leaving us with 1 time, which we'll use to buy close call. So, with all of our time gone, we reset the time to 6. We resolve a killer action, so the killers will stab someone in their space, but there's no one in their space currently. These guys are outside the house. So we resolve a terror card. That terror card is, there's someone out there. If there are no victims on the board, discard. Well, there are victims on the board, so that's fine. The active killer will move twice and target a victim. So the active killer is this one here. So she moves into the foyer and she kills this first victim. So she knocks on the front door, walks in, and takes an old hatchet to one of Ginny's relatives, or one of her boyfriend's relatives. Maybe the mother, I don't know. Maybe the father, maybe the uncle. Yeah, she hatchets the uncle to death as he answers the door, why not? And we increase the bloodlust. Now this is pretty unfortunate because this puts the horror up by 1, and this activates and puts the horror up by 2. So there are no victims in her space, so nobody panics. And we then go back round to the action phase. So the first thing we're going to do is try and sprint. Nice, that's 2 successes. So we spend 1 time and we can move Ginny up to 3 spaces, which is exactly what we want because she's going to take these 2 with her and she's going to sprint, save these 2, tell them to get out of there and save yourselves. And we will cover this and this to reduce our threat or our danger back down by 2. And then we will play another sprint. See what we get. Okay, that's not a great roll. And we are going to play close call to reroll any 1 horror die. So, in fact, we're going to spend 2 time to reroll them both. Oh, that was an even worse result. Fantastic. Such is the way it goes, which means we can move up to 1 space, lose a health, and lose 2 time, and then our turn ends. So we move 1 space to here, we lose our 2 time, we lose our 1 health, and then our turn ends. So with 0 time left, all we can do is get back the starting cards that don't cost us anything. I'll reset the time to 6. And then there is no one for the killers to kill in their space. So we draw another terror card. They will hunt you. Place the active killer in your space. Oh, fantastic. So she teleports over here to Ginny. She attacks, and they deal 1 damage when they attack. So Ginny takes another damage. Then we move the killer token down. So Sackhead activates, and he then moves towards Ginny. So what's his fastest route towards her? Probably through the house. So he moves into the porch. Sorry, moves off the porch into the foyer, and then we move the killer token down again to Knife Man, whatever his name is, and he moves into the foyer as well. Well, that was unfortunate. It's back to Ginny's turn, and the first thing we are going to do, we're going to try and focus first. Great. So what I'm going to do is throw these 2 cards away to convert one of these to a success. And that gives us a reduction of 1, costs us 1 time. So we're going to play focus for a second time, and we're going to hope for a better result. That's more like it. 2 successes, so that gives us another one of those, and 2 time back. Unfortunately, there's not too much we can use it on, but we can walk, and we're now rolling 3 dice. So, I'm going to try and walk. 1 success. Yeah, we can't afford to try and convert that, so we'll take the 1 time, we'll move the 1 space, and then we will walk again. Okay, this time it's a fail, but even on a fail, we can move 1 space, lose a health, and it costs us 2 time. So that's what we're going to have to do. So we're going to move that 1 space into the shed. Costs us 1 time. Also costs us 1 health. We are going to use search. In fact, before we search, we can spend 1 time to pick up, I believe that is some discarded tools. So we can pick these up whenever we're in a space with these craftable items. So we're going to take those discarded tools. I'll just put them there. Okay, and that's the search card done. That cost us 2 time. So that's the end of that turn, and we have 3 time that we can spend. We're going to buy a sprint for 2 time, and the only other thing we can buy is a close call for 1 time. And that's that done. So once again, there are no there are no victims in the killer spaces, so they won't move or anything. And we will draw another killer card, another terror card. Oh my god, what is happening to us? The active killer is going to move towards a victim, which is this guy. So I believe he moves towards where the most victims are, and then he is going to kill one of them, increasing their bloodlust, which now, this movement goes up, so they will now move 2 spaces whenever they need to move. And unfortunately, he activates again, because he's already got victims in his space. He just kills another one. And that ramps up some more. Now, because there is a victim still in his space, we roll this die to see where that victim panics and where it runs off to. So it runs in the direction of 4, so he wisely flees. Where does he flee to? Yeah, 2 to 4. He runs into the kitchen, seeking the safety in numbers. That's bad for me, however, because it's a big chunk of them that can be taken out in there all at once. So, it's back to our action phase. So we are going to try and sprint. Okay, so we get 1 success, which allows us to move up to 2 spaces. We're going to play close call to reroll any 1 die. So we're going to try and reroll this one. No, That's no good. Still just two spaces we can move at the cost of 1 time. So she's going to go 1, 2 into here and try and get some of these saved. And that has cost us 1 time. So all of these are available to buy again. Those aren't. So we get back our main cards, and then we've got 5 time to spend. So I am going to spend 4 time on a retaliate and 1 time on this other close call card. And then it is back to the killers. So once again, we draw a terror card. Oh, they will hunt you again. Whew. Okay, so the active killer. Now he comes into my space and he attacks, but I have this retaliate card, which I'm going to play. And hopefully do a good bit of damage to this guy. So before he attacks me, I can do this retaliate. So I'll roll my 3 dice. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. We're going to discard 4 cards to turn these into 2 successes. We're going to lose a lot doing this, but we're going to lose close call, both of our focuses, and a short rest. So I'm giving up a lot there. But it turns these into 2 successes, which means this retaliate ignores all damage he would deal, and it deals 2 damage back, plus we have the baseball bat, so it deals 3 damage. So it serves him a nasty counter-attack. And then the next killer activates, and she will go into the same space, and then it moves down again, and this time Sackhead will move 2 into there. So the kitchen is extremely crowded now, and then it is the end of their turn. Nobody was killed, so nobody panics. So we have weak attack and 2 walks. So what we're going to do first is we're going to try a weak attack. Nice, we've got 2 successes, so it does 1 damage plus that extra 1 damage. And of course we're attacking the guy who's already injured. So it takes away 2 of his health, leaving him with just his token. So we've almost got rid of 1 of them. And then we're going to walk. With 1 success. So we are going to walk 1 space, taking 2 of these victims with us. And then we'll walk again. Giving us 2 successes. So we can move 2 spaces. So we can take these 2, 1, 2, and take them to safety. Which we will use. Oh, that cost us 1 time and 1 time for the other. Walk. So what we're going to do is we're going to regain 2 time. And we're going to regain 1 health. So with our 6 time, we're going to spend 4 to buy 2 sprints. We will also buy a search. So it's the killer phase. So the killer will kill this guy. Put the bloodlust up. Put the horror up by 1. That's unfortunate. And then we'll draw a terror card. We're all going to die. The active killer will target a victim, kill him. So that reveals their dark power, which is strength in numbers. Each attack does 1 additional damage for each other killer in the same or adjacent space. That's great. Well, that's not good. And then it goes back to Knife Man, and he will move 2 spaces and he will kill this victim. So they are ramping up quite fast. It's back round to Ginny, and Ginny is going to, of course, sprint. Unfortunately, she only rolls 2 dice now. But that gets her 2 successes, which allows her to move 3 spaces. So she will go 1, 2, 3 into here. She will use another sprint. This time she only gets 1 success, but it allows her to move 2 spaces. So what she will do is she will move these last 2 victims to the driveway and tell them to escape. And she will take the guard card and cover this one, which allows her to move 1 space. So she will move into the garage. She will take the guard, and because she has rescued all 6 of these victims, she gets to flip to her empowered side. So let's just take a look at what that says. Choose 2 of the following actions that will apply to all results when resolving that action for the remainder of the game. Oh, +1 to that. Okay, that's good. That's really good. So she's managed to save about half the family. But fortunately for us, she's also in the garage, so we can use this search. So let's try and search, and we get 1 success. Oops. I was using that, wasn't he? Which allows us to take the top card, which is a medkit. Every time you use an action card to recover health, recover an additional health. Okay, that's pretty handy. Guess that would have cost us 1 time. Oh, I think those were nails up in the shed. Yeah, those were nails in the shed, not tools that we got earlier. But that's okay, because I'll take those nails and I'll keep the tools, because I'm going to spend another time to pick up the tools that would have been in the garage. Okay, so then we'll move on to the planning phase. So we've got 2 time. There's not much we can buy. We're just going to buy a search, and we get our other cards back. So, draw a terror card. Go away. Each killer damage this way. Retaliates. Okay. So basically they do nothing this turn, but we draw an event. And that event is escape attempt. The victim close to the driveway is going to make a run for it. Well, they're all dead. Or saved already. So, yeah, unfortunately the event cards came a bit too late. So that just does nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and focus. Okay, that was terrible. That does nothing but cost us 2 time. We'll try another focus. Okay, that's a bit more like it. So we've got 1 success, but we really want 2. So I don't plan on moving anywhere this turn, so I'm going to discard both of my walks. And because Ginny is powered up, she gets to reduce the fear by 2 instead of just 1, and we gain 2 time. So we're back to rolling 3 dice again. And now we're going to do a search, which gets us 1 success. So what we're going to do is we're going to chuck short rest and weak attack to turn that into 2 successes, which allows us to, so we get to take the top 2 item cards at space and choose 1. So we have got the map and the knife. Okay, right, so I'm going to take the knife, because we know we can use that. So we'll place the map on top face down. So we've now got the baseball bat and the knife, which means if we want to make the disemboweler, we need to get some rope. And rope is right over here in the boathouse. So I think that's where we're going to try and head. That's the only thing we've got left is our guard card, which we will just keep. And then it is onto the killer phase. Okay, so they've got the minor dark power coordinated attack. Ooh, at the end of each killer phase, resolve the following effect, and that's good. Right, so that gives them 2 bonus health. And at the end of the killer phase, they resolve. This goes up, and Sackhead will move 2 spaces. 1, 2, towards Ginny in an effort to attack her. Oh, I missed the bloody shopping phase. Okay, well I would have bought 2 sprints and a close call. That's what I meant to do. Okay, now it's back round to Ginny's turn. So the first thing we're going to do is sprint. So we got 1 success. Fantastic. Well, it allows us to move 2 spaces. Yeah, we're going to go 1, 2, past the front porch. And then we'll try sprinting again. Okay. Right, we really need those 3 spaces, so we're going to sacrifice the close call and the guard. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. For 1 time, we're going to pick up the rope. For 1 time. And then we're immediately going to use that to take the knife and the wooden bat and craft them into the disemboweler, which would normally cost us 2 time. However, because of the event getting resourceful, it's only going to cost us 1 time. We now have the disemboweler, which is a bit more of a nasty weapon. And then that's that done. So we've only got 2 time with items to buy. So we'll take back our 6 base cards and we will buy a guard. So that's our time gone. Goes back up to there. And then we will resolve a terror card. So, place 3 victims in the boathouse. Oh, that was handy. What happened while we were gone? So these 3 victims turn up in the boathouse. And we draw an event card. And that event is Battle Ready. Take the item cards set aside during setup. Reveal 1 at a time until either a weapon is revealed. Take this item or until there are no more of the set aside item cards to reveal. So this is really handy. So we take the 4 item cards that weren't in the game and give them a quick shuffle. Well, it doesn't actually matter really. And then we reveal them. Oh, it's a knife. Okay, so we've got another knife. It's not really all that much use to us. So at least that wasn't a bad turn at least. And then at the end of the phase we move this up and the active killer moves 2 spaces, 1, 2 towards us. So Ginny is going to use the walk action. Okay, fine. We will discard our 2 focus cards, and that means we now have 1 success So we can move 1 space, but because of her power up, she gets to move 1 extra space. So we can take 2 of these, go 1, 2, and rescue them. Which gives us an additional time. So it would have cost us 1 time for the walk, but then we'll gain 2 time back. And then what we're going to do, we're going to discard this walk card to gain 1 time. We will play short rest, giving us 1 success, which would ordinarily heal 1 health, but as she's powered up, she heals 2 health, so it costs us 1 time, but we recover 2 health, putting Ginny back up at maximum health. And then we're going to end our turn there, saving our guard and weak attack, and we've got 7 time to spend, so we're going to spend 4 on retaliate, and 3 on improvise, which ends our turn. And it then becomes the killer's turns, who again, they haven't got anyone in their space, so the active killer, she's going to go 1, 2, and kill him, or her, whoever it may have been. Okay, now they've powered up again, so they will now move 3 spaces. It also increases our horror by 1. And then this triggers, moving up to there. And he now moves 3 spaces. Oh, I was using the bathroom, wasn't he? So he's going to go 1, 2, 3 towards Ginny. Okay, Ginny actually hasn't she hasn't got any movement cards left, so but that's okay, because we're going to spend all 6 of our time. Yeah, we're going to end our turn. We're going to spend all 6 time to get critical blow. And then it is on to the killer's turn, and this is the last terror card. So we were passing by and thought we heard a scream. Place 2 new victims at the porch. Oh, fantastic. Great, so they pass by and walk straight into a murderer. Fantastic. And we take 1 more horror. And then we draw an event card. Lose a boyfriend. This was all planned. The victim furthest from you is your boyfriend, who has been secretly helping the killer. The boyfriend cannot be targeted or killed by enemies, but you may attack and kill him. If you kill the boyfriend, decrease horror by 3. You do not increase bloodlust. Huh. Okay, so the victim furthest from Ginny, which will be one of these 2, so he becomes the loser boyfriend, who's actually, turns out he's just lured this passerby in to get killed. Great. But if we kill him, we get to decrease the horror. Okay. And as there are no more cards left, we reveal the finale, which is Hunt, Sweet Hunt. Ooh, okay, right, so they're all going to move after me very quickly and attack. So this token goes up 1, and he will move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and he will try to attack Ginny. So Ginny is going to use retaliate. And she gets 2 successes, which means she blocks all his damage, she deals 2 damage in return, plus she's using the Disemboweler, so she deals a total of 4 damage to this sackhead. So that did not go well for him. Then, at the end of the... we'll take those 2 damage first. So then, that moves up, and she will move into the space as well, and attack. Now, unfortunately, they do more damage. So we're going to use guard, and we're hoping to reduce as much damage as possible from this. Well, that's not good. So how much damage do they do now? They do 2 damage, plus 1 for each other killer in the area. So, unfortunately, the guard completely fails. Oh, a failure still reduces the damage by 1, though. So, instead of 3 damage, it'll be 2 damage. So it wasn't too bad. It would go back round to Ginny's turn. So, the first thing she's going to do is use her weak attack. Ooh. Ooh! Ah, now. This is actually very important. After applying damage to the targeted enemy, for each other enemy on the same or adjacent space. So, oh, they weren't on an adjacent space. Never mind. But this is important because when I use my weak attack, so when I use weak attack, I also add the damage from the disemboweler and an extra damage from here. Okay, that gets us 1 success. We don't have the stuff to make up another success. We don't have enough cards. So we'll have to take 1 damage, but we will deal 1 damage, plus the 2, plus this. So it will be a total of 4 damage against Sackhead. So we'll take away his 3 damage, and then hopefully he doesn't have... So, he falls down. Oh, Sackhead. Surely he's died. And we reveal this token to find he doesn't have any bonus health. So yes, Sackhead is indeed dead. And that is one of the killers gone. But after applying damage, so with the disemboweler, after applying damage to the targeted enemy, I reduce horror by 1 for each other enemy in the space. So because he's there, we reduce the horror by 1, and we now get to roll 3 dice. So, our weak attack is gone, but we have critical blow. So that got us 2 successes and took out all of those. Which is 3 for 5 damage. So in one fell swoop, we reduce her to 1 health. And then we're out of cards. We also reduce the horror by 1. But we've got 6 time to spend. So, I'm going to buy a guard. And we're going to buy a Furious Strike. And that's all 6 of our time gone. He is in the same space. Oh, it would be her first. So she is going to attack Ginny. So we're going to use our guard, of course. We get 1 success, so we reduce the damage by 2. So that means it reduces all the damage, so we're safe. And then he will attack and kill him, increasing the bloodlust, and at the end of the round he will move and attack Ginny, and unfortunately Ginny can't defend against this. So does she die or does she live? So she gets 2 health. So we put 1 of those there, and she's on to her final life, as she is not quite dead yet. But it's going to be a close call, this. But she's actually done a lot of damage, so she has got Furious Strike, Short Rest, Walk, Walk, Focus, Focus. She doesn't have a weak attack, she can only attack 1 of them this turn. So The first thing she's going to do is a furious strike and try to finish one of these off. And with 3 successes, she certainly does. Well, hopefully, anyway. So hopefully, these. Which one? Let's go with the knife man. Ah, he hasn't got any health. Whew. So he doesn't get back up. Once he's down for good. And now we need to get a bit of space. Yeah, because we've used all of our guards and retaliates. So we're going to walk. 2 successes, which ordinarily is move 1 space, but because she's powered up it becomes 3. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3 over to the driveway. Unfortunately, I think to take out the loser boyfriend, I think we need an attack card. I would guess. What's it say? You may attack and kill him. Yeah, so I'm guessing I need to use weak attack or something against him. So we will use a walk again. Oh, getting us another 3 successes. So we need to try and make sure we are... Oh, I don't think we can actually get away from her. Because she's got too much movement, because she's going to move twice, so she'll move 6 spaces, which is already a lot, and then she's going to move another 3, so there's nowhere we can go where we'll escape from her. So actually, instead of playing that second walk, we're going to play short rest instead. And we get 1 success, which costs us a time. But we heal 3 health. 1 for the medkit, 1 for her being powered up, and 1 for the short rest. And then that's all we can do. So what we're going to do is chuck away these 3 cards to give us 3 time, which we will spend on improvise, a close call, another close call, and a sprint. So I need to survive this round to be able to take her down. So she is going to just move straight towards me. She'll attack me. There's nothing I can do about it, so it's 3 health. So thankfully I've still got 1 health left. Good job I had that med kit. Oh no, she can't possibly do this. So she does the 3 damage, but then she's going to do this, which means she's just going to wipe me out. Just a second, I'm just going to check the rule book. Okay. Lucky me, I've actually been making the game harder for myself. As soon as I did the 2 damage to this should have been discarded. I completely forgot that once you take the health markers out, the dark power is discarded. So they actually shouldn't have been doing this for like the last half of the game. So I've made things tougher on myself, but I've probably messed up in other places and made it easier on myself as well. So, but okay, that's good, because it means she's not going to attack again, which means Ginny does get to stay alive for another turn. And Ginny is going to sprint getting 2 successes, which allows her to move up to 3 spaces. Let's head into the house. 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to have to end her turn there, because there's really not much else we can do. But we take back all of these cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're not going to take all of them back, actually. We're going to leave the 2 focuses, and we will leave the 2 walks. We're going to spend 4 time on retaliate, and that's all we can afford. Just takes down to 1, goes back up to there, and then old Goathead will react, whatever her name is. Trish reacts, and she will go 1, 2, 3, and now she attacks us, but we're going to use retaliate. And we do 2, so we get 2 successes, so we ignore all damage from the attack, and we deal 2 damage to her, so... Oh, and she doesn't have any bonus health either, so when Trish goes down, she's down for good. And that's it. That is a bit of a close game there at the end. Shame I was making it 10 times harder for myself, but in the end we just managed to prevail there. Hopefully I didn't make too many mistakes, but yeah, that is a game of Final Girl, and well, she didn't do too bad. She managed to save 8 of the family members. She managed to save 8 people, did Ginny, and she found out her boyfriend was a total loser, who I assume runs off into the night to, I guess, try and get his girlfriend killed again. Okay, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. And that is Unwelcome Dinner Guests, featuring the Intruders at Wingard Cottage. Or should I say starring the Intruders at Wingard Cottage. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!